Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will be showing you how to solve linear equations, and I will be focusing on distance, rate, and time. But just before we get started, I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Like the video, share the link with your friends, and also click on the notification bell. Thank you very much for your support. Alright, let's get started. Question 1. Two joggers starts from opposite ends of an 8-mile course running towards each other. One jogger is running at a rate of 4 miles per hour and the other is running at a rate of 6 miles per hour. After how long will the joggers meet? Okay, so let's illustrate this with a number line or with a straight line. So this is, let's say, jogger 1. Or jogger A and jogger B. Jogger B, and jogger B is running towards jogger A, while jogger A is running towards jogger B. So jogger A is running at the rate of one is running at the rate of 4 miles per hour. So let's say jogger A is running at the rate of 4 miles per hour, and jogger B is running at the rate of 6 miles per hour. So both of them are going to spend a particular time meeting each other. So let's first of all let's put it in a table so it looks better. So we can prepare this like this, and this is jogger A, and also jogger B. Jogger B. So this is the rate, this is the time, and this is the distance covered. So jogger A is running at the rate of 4 miles per hour. Jogger B is running at the rate of 6 miles per hour. So they spend the same time, and distance is equals to speed times time. Times time. And you know, speed is distance over time. Speed is equals to distance divided by time. I hope we are familiar with these formulas. So for us to find the distance, we just cross multiply, use the time to multiply the speed, and that gives you the distance. Okay, that means the distance covered here will be 4 times t, which was 4t, and jogger B will cover a distance of 6 times t, which is 6t. Now the question says they are covering a distance of 8 miles. So that means 4t plus 6t is equals to 8. And this will be 10t is equals to 8. So we can divide both sides by 10. And so this would cancel, and t will be equals to 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So this will become 4 over 5. So this is the time spent, and we can convert this because this time is in hour. So we can convert this to minute by simply multiplying this by 60. So 4 over 5 times 60. So 5 into 5 is 1. 60 into 5 into 60 is 12. So 4 times 12 is 48. So they spend 48 minutes before meeting each other. So that is the answer to this question, and I hope it makes some sense. All right, let's go on to the next question. Example 2. Bob and Fred start from the same point and walk in opposite directions. Bob walks 2 miles per hour faster than Fred. After 3 hours, they are 30 miles apart. How fast did each walk? Okay, so the best way is just for us to use the table. So we got a table. And this is Bob. This is Fred. This is the rate at which they walk, the time, the distance. Okay, let's look at the question again. Bob and Fred start from the same point and walk in opposite directions. Bob walks 2 miles per hour, so the rate for Bob is 2 miles per hour faster than Fred. Okay, so let's get rid of this. 2 miles per hour faster. So if Fred is x, then Bob will be x plus 2. All right, so if the rate at which Fred is moving is x, then Bob will be x plus 2. Okay, after 3 hours, so 3 hours after, 3 hours after, they are 30 miles apart. Okay, so now we can simply, no, so the time is 3 hours. So we can multiply the rate by the time in order to get the speed, in order to get the distance. So this will become 3 times x plus 2, and this will give us 3x, because 3 times x, 3x. So if we combine this and this, it will be equal to the distance covered by them, which is 30 miles. Okay, because we are 30 miles apart. So automatically we now have 3 parentheses x plus 2 plus 3x equals to 30. So let's clear the parentheses. So this will become 3x plus 6 plus 3x is equals 30. And combine like terms. 3x plus 3x is 6x plus 6 equals 30. Subtract 6 from both sides. So this will just cancel. And now we have 6x is equals to 24. Because 30 minus 6 is 24. So we divide both sides by 6. And 6 will cancel 6 from here. Therefore, x is equals to 24 divided by 6, which is 4. So if x is equals to 4, that means Bob is working at the rate of 4 plus 2, which is equals to 6, and Fred is working at the rate of 4. So this is the answer to this question, and I hope this makes some sense. Okay, let's go to the next one. Question 3. Two campers left their campsite by canoe and paddled downstream at an average speed of 12 miles per hour. They turned around and paddled back upstream at an average rate of 4 miles per hour. The total trip took 1 hour. After how much time did the campers turn around downstream? Now, to solve this problem, first we need to draw the table that represent the information. So first they paddled downstream. Secondly, upstream. Now the rate, the time, and then the distance. All right. Paddling downstream at the rate of 12 miles per hour, and then upstream 4 miles per hour. So we assume that it took X time to paddle downstream, and then since it total trip took 1 hour, we can now subtract X from 1 to know the time it took for them to paddle upstream. So the distance covered downstream will be 12x, which is 12 times x, while the distance covered paddling upstream will be 4 times 1 minus x. And so since they paddle equal distance, paddling downstream is equal to paddling upstream. So this will become 12x is equals to 4 parentheses 1 minus x. So we can now clear the parentheses by distributing 4 into the content. So 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times negative x, negative 4x. So let's add 4x to both sides, plus 4x, and negative 4x plus 4x will just cancel, and 12x plus 4x will give us 16x equals to 4, and so we can divide both sides by 16, and 16 divided by 16 is 1, 16 divided by 16 is 1, 4 divided by 4 is 1, 16 divided by 4 is 4. Therefore, x is equals to 1/4. So if we convert this to minutes, it will be 1/4 times 60. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, into 60 is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, 4 into 6. Sorry, let me take that again. 4 into 4 is 1, 4 into 60. Into 6 is 1, remainder 2, so that gives us 15. so 15 minutes. So this is equals to 15 minutes. So it took paddling downstream 15 minutes and then upstream equals to 60 minutes minus 15 minutes, which is equals to 45 minutes, because the total trip took 1 hour. So 60 minutes is equals to 1 hour. So 60 minutes minus 15 minutes is 45 minutes. So the question is, after how much time did the campers turn around? They turn around after 15 minutes. So that is the answer to this question, and I hope it makes some sense. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 4. Mike leaves his house traveling 2 miles per hour. Joy leaves 6 hours later to catch up with him, traveling 8 miles per hour. How long will it take her to catch up with him? So we can illustrate this question using the table. So just draw your table and 3 rows, and then if this is a Mike, then this will be Joy, but any of them can actually come first. So let this be the rate, the time, and the distance. All right, so Mike is traveling at the rate of 2 miles per hour, so we can write 2 here, and Joy is traveling at the rate of 8 miles per hour, so we can fill this with 8. So if Mike spent T time, because Joy left 6 hours later, we can subtract 6 from T. So automatically the distance traveled by Mike would be 2 times T, which is 2T, and the distance traveled by Joy would be 8 times T minus 6. So now both of them are covering equal distance, so we can simply set this 2T is equals to 8T minus 6, and if we distribute 8 into this and also into this, then this will automatically becomes 8T minus 48. So we can add 48 to both sides, and negative 48 plus 48 is 0, so we can simply cancel this from here, and now we have 2T plus 48 equals to 8T. We can also subtract 2T from both sides, and 2T minus 2T is 0, so cancel that from there, and now we have 48 is equals to 6T. So now divide both sides by 6, and 6 divided by 6 is 1, 6 divided by 6 is 1, 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 48 divided by 6 is 8. Therefore, T is equals to 8 hours. So that means Mike spent 8 hours and Joy spent 8 minus 6, which is equals to 2 hours. So the question is, how long will it take her to catch up with him? It will take 8 hours to cut 2 hours to catch up with Mike. 2 hours. So this is it here. I hope this makes some sense. So let's spell this very well. Two hours. Okay, so let's quickly move on to the next one. Example 5. On a 130-mile trip, a car traveled at an average speed of 55 miles per hour and then reduced its speed to 40 miles per hour for the remainder of the trip. The trip took 2.5 hours. For how long did the car travel 40 miles per hour? So we can also illustrate this using a table and create 3 rows. First column is for first trip, and then second trip. Okay, so the first trip, the rate, so create the rate for the first trip is 55 miles per hour, and then reduced to 40 miles per hour for the second trip, and the total time spent is 2.5. So time 2.5. So if the first trip took t time, then 2.5 minus t will be the time spent on the remainder of the trip. So now the distance covered, like you know, is rate times time, which is now 55 times t, and that gives us 55t, and also 40 times 2.5 minus t, so 40 2.5 minus t. All right, so remember the total distance traveled is 130 mile. So it means that if we add up 55t and 40, 2.5 minus t, this will be equals to 130. So now let's distribute this into this and also into this. So automatically we are going to have 55t plus 40 times 2.5. What would that give us? 40 times 2.5, 100. So we have 100 minus 40t equals to 130. So if we combine like terms, this will become 55t minus 40t plus 100 equals to 130. So 55t minus 40t will be 15t plus 100, and this is equals to 130. We can also subtract 100 from both sides. Subtract 100 from both sides, and 100 minus 100 is 0. We can simply cancel this from here, and 15t will be equals to 130 minus 100, which will give us 30. And if we divide both sides by 15, 15 divided by 15 is 1. 15 divided by 15 is 1. 15 divided by 15 is 1, and 30 divided by 15 is 2. Therefore, t is equals to 2. Now, if we go back to the table, the second trip, the first trip would be, the time spent for the first trip would be 2 hours. So first trip is equals to 2 hours, and the time spent on 40 miles per hour, which is the second trip, would be 2.5 minus 2, and this would be equals to 0.5 hour. So we can simply convert this to minutes by multiplying by 60. So 0.5 times 60, 0.5 times 60, and that is 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Now, this is the answer to the question. You can either use 30 minutes or half an hour. Half an hour. So this is the answer to this question. Remember, the question is, the trip took 2.5 hours. For how long did the car travel for 40 miles per hour? So our focus is on this 40 miles per hour. So this is the time. So the time spent traveling 40 miles per hour is half an hour or 30 minutes. And I hope this makes some sense. All right, let's move on to the next question. Example 6. A 60 miles A is 60 miles from B. So if this is the distance between A and B, this is A and this is B. The distance in between them is 60 miles. An automobile at A starts for B at the rate of 20 miles an hour at the same time that an automobile at B starts for A at the rate of 25 miles an hour. How long will it be before the automobiles meet? So we can now use the table and create 3 rows, and automobile at A and automobile at B, and the rates. So the rate at which the automobile at A is moving for B is 20 miles per hour, while the rate at which the automobile at B is moving for A is 25 miles per hour. time. Both of them will spend equal time. And the distance, so distance is rate times time, as you already know. So 20 times t to become 20 times t, and for b to be 25 times t. So we can now add up 20t and 25t and set this to 60, because the distance covered is 60, as you can see over here. So 20t plus 25t would give us 45t, and this is equals to 60. So now we can divide both sides by 45. Divide both sides by 45, and 45 divided by 45 is 1. 45 divided by 45 is 1. And we can divide 45 using 15, and that would give us 3. And 60 divided by 15 is 4. So this will automatically, t will be equals to 4 over 3 hour. And we can simply convert this to minutes by multiplying by 60. Multiply by 60, and 3 into 3 is 1, and 60 divided by 3 is 20. So 4 times 20 is 80. So this is 80 minutes. Minutes, or 4 over 3 hours. So this is the answer to this question. You can simply use the fraction, or you use fractions in hours, or you use 80 minutes. All right, so this is the answer to the question. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Example 7. Two trains travel towards each other from points which are 195 miles apart. They travel at rate of 25 and 40 miles an hour, respectively. If they start at the same time, how soon will they meet? So first, we understand they are covering a distance of 195 miles. They are covering a distance of 195 miles. So if this is the train 1 and this is the second train, they are moving in opposite direction. Yeah, they are moving towards each other, and will be covering a distance of 195. So we can illustrate this using the table, and this will be T1 and this will be T2, and the rate is 25 and 40 miles per hour, and then the time would be the same. Therefore, distance will be 25 times t, which is 25 t, and 40 t. So if we add up this together, 25t plus 40t, we can set this to the distance, which is 195 miles. So 25t plus 40t, this will give us 65t equals to 195, and we divide both sides by 65. Divide both sides by 65, and into this is 1, into this is 1. And if we divide this by 5, it will give us 13. We divide this by 5, give us 39, and 13 into 13 is 1, into this is 3. That means the time would be equals to 3 hours. So this is the time taken for both train to meet. And I hope this makes some sense. All right, let's move on to the next question. Example 8. A boy rides away from home in an automobile at the rate of 25 miles an hour and walks back at the rate of 4 miles an hour. The round trip requires 2 hours. How far does he ride? Okay, so let's illustrate this with a table. Okay, so first moving with a car, y going back, okay, walking. So the rate at which he moved with an automobile was 28 miles per 28 miles an hour, and walk back home at the rate of 4 miles an hour. The round trip requires 2 hours, so we can assume that the time spent on automobile is t. Then the time spent going back home, since the total time is 2 hours, we can simply subtract the time spent on automobile from that and to give us the time spent walking back home. So distance will be 28t, and 4, 2 minus t. And since the distance traveled from home down to wherever he went to and going back home is the same, we can simply set this as 28t equals to 4 parentheses 2 minus t. Now we can distribute 4 into this and also into this. So this will become 28t equals to 8 minus 4t. We can add 4 to both sides. Add 4t to both sides. So negative 4t plus 4t will be out, and 28t plus 4t will give us 32t, and this is equals to 8. Now divide both sides by 32, and 32 divided by 32 is 1, into 32 is 1, and 8 divided by 8 is 1, and 32 divided by 8 is 4. So t is equals to 1/4 hour. And if we decide to change this to minutes, then t will be equals to 1/4 times 60. and 4 divided by 4 is 1, and into this is 15. So that means T is equals to 15 minutes. Now let's go back to the question. It says, how far does he ride? Okay, so how far does he ride? That talks of the automobile, the time spent using the automobile, and that is 15 minutes. And I hope this makes some sense. Either you use 15 minutes or 1/4 hour. All right, let's go on to the next question. Example 9. A man travels 5 miles an hour. After traveling for 6 hours, another man starts at the same place, following at the rate of 8 miles an hour. When will the second man overtake the first? So, you can set this in the table. First man, second man. The rate. First man traveled at the rate of 5 miles an hour, and the second man traveled 8 miles an hour, and the time spent by the first man, let it be T, and then the second man started 6 hours later, so T minus 6, and the distance covered would be 5T, and 8T minus 6. Since they are going to meet at a point, it means they are covering the same distance. So 5T is equals to 8T minus 6. The second man will have to meet exactly at the same point with the first man before overtaking him. So we can set it like this and distribute this using the distributive properties. So 5T is equals to 8T minus 48. So we can add 48 to both sides. Add 48, and negative 48 plus 48 is 0. And 5T plus 48 is equals to 8T. So we can subtract 5T from both sides, and this will be cancelled. So 48 is equals to 3T. So divide both sides by 3, and 3 would cancel to give you 1. Into this is 1, and into 4 is 1, into 18, 6. So T is equals to 16 hours. So now let's go back to the table. So the first man spent 16 hours, and the second man will spend 16 minus 6, which is equals to 10 hours. So the second man is going to spend 10 hours before overtaking the first man. So this is the answer to this question, and I hope this makes some sense. All right, let's go on to the next question. Question 10. A jet plane traveling at 570 miles per hour overtakes a propeller-driven plane that has had a 2-hour head start. The propeller-driven plane is traveling at 190 miles per hour. How far from the starting point does the jet overtake the propeller-driven plane? Okay, let's set this. Okay, this is the jet plane. And then propeller, propellant, and then rate 570. Why this is 190. Question says the propeller driven plane is traveling at, okay, and coming, okay, the propeller driven plane has had a 2-hour head start. So the time, so if the propeller driven plane spent t time, then this will be t minus 2. So the distance would be 570 times t minus 2, while this would be 190 t. All right, so we can set the distance to be equal. So 190 t is equals to 570 t minus 2. So this would be equals to 570 t minus 570 times 2. Okay, so this would give us 1,140. So 190 t is equals to this. So now we can simply add 1,140 to both sides. 1,140, and this would cancel. So we now have 190 t plus 1,140 equals to 570 t. So we can simply subtract 190 t from both sides, and this will be out. Now we have 1,140 is equals to 570 minus 190. and this gives us 380 t. So we can divide both sides by 380 t. 380. So this would give you 1 into this is 1. So now 1140 divided by 380 is 3. So into this is 1 and into this is 3. So time t is equals to 3 hours. Now let's go back to the table. So it means that the propeller driven plane will spend 3 hours, while the jet plane would spend 3 minus 2, which is equals to 1 hour before overtaking the propeller driven plane. So this is the answer to this question, and I hope it makes some sense. All right, so if you find this video useful, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the video, share the link with your friends, and also remember to click on the notification bell. Thank you very much. See you in our next video. Bye bye.